Thank you for staying with us. It's time for Women in Leadership, and her supporters say the aspirant spares no effort or has spared no effort to reach a section of Kirinyaga County. Purity Wangui Ngirici, popularly known as Wangui, is sweeping Kirinyaga County, like I said earlier, with an unprecedented air, land and cyber campaign to become the women representative in the August polls. The aspirant, who is also known to be daughter-in-law of the late billionaire spy master James Kanyotu, has campaigned in a manner the county was not accustomed to before, driving to literally every corner of Kirinyaga, arriving at other other venues by air, and campaigning among, a cross-section of Kirinyaga residents. She's our guest in studio this evening on Women in Leadership. Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Good evening, Lillian.
So let's begin with the affluence, because, like I said, residents of Kirinyaga are in shock at the affluence, at the choppers, the SUVs. This must have cost you a pretty penny, or continues to cost you a pretty penny. So share with us about this campaign strategy, which is extremely affluent and different from what the other, I would say, aspirants have displayed on the ground.
One thing that I can say, that's for sure, it's not the first time that I'm going to Kirinyaga in a chopper. I have always traveled there, and every time or any time I feel it's convenient for me, I fly, but sometimes I drive there. And even like when I was fully on the ground and living in Kirinyaga County, I always had very nice cars, so I don't think it's anything new. And
so you have lived in the county?
Yes, throughout most of my life. And it's not like it's just the beginning. It's like it's a normal life for me, so it's not really...
There's rumor that you fly as well, that you're a pilot. Is that rumor? Is that...
Yes, that started. I was doing some classes. I wanted to fly the helicopter, but I haven't finished really completely. But I can do it. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when dailies talk about you being the daughter-in-law of a billionaire, does that serve to your advantage on the ground? Does it almost communicate that you have an unfair lead over the other, perhaps more humble aspirants?
Not really, because, okay, some of the things don't carry any facts. It's just about relationships are always there, but parents leave their children to niche their own lives. So I haven't had anything really. Maybe the advantage, maybe it's a name, but not anything much like in form of maybe cash or any other thing. Just that maybe the name could help because it's a national, maybe a famous name. But most of the parents, the way I know them, the way I was brought up also, it's not about the name, it's not about the parents really providing. It's about your personal work, what you have done, how far you can go, and what you can do with yourself.
And the interesting thing about Kirinyaga County is the fact that we have two formidable forces going at it for the gubernatorial seat. That's NARC Kenya's Martha Karua, the party leader, and Anne Waiguru, and now you coming in very strongly as aspirant for women's rep. Do you think, should Anne Waiguru or Martha Karua, clinch this gubernatorial position, do you think that we are at a time in Kenya where women can not only coexist but work well together?
Yeah, they can work well together. I can tell you for sure that both women I know are very good at what they do, and both women actually have been in our country, have really brought out something, and they've really committed themselves to doing things that have really improved our country. That's why they're both known for great things. I'm happy I come from Kirinyaga, that we produce very good women and very strong women. And I'm just saying that any woman, both of them are my friends, and I would say, naturally I say they're both my sisters, because one is born where my mother was born and the other is born where my father was born. So both of them are like sisters to me, older sisters, and they both I can really work very well with.
But you've been seen to lean more, and this is arguable, towards the Anne Waiguru side. You've severally been spotted with her. Is this a deliberate strategy on your part? Is this a pure coincidence?
Well, I would call it pure coincidence. Well, I started my campaigns a little bit earlier, and she came in just after me, and so at that point we were just going around the county together, and we were doing things together, and coincidentally we were both in Jubilee. So saying that we are in Jubilee, we cannot fight. We have to work together because this is our party. We are pushing forward for the party to get a lot of votes and to get more MPs, more everybody that is going to get into power. So we're hoping that Jubilee will get it. So naturally, being in Jubilee, I will have to work with Jubilee, and I don't have a bad working relationship, I would say.
Let's go back in time and talk about a bit of your background, which is in the NGO world. I believe the World Food Program.
Yeah.
What informed your decision to move away from that and give politics some thought?
I moved away from that to go into business, and business was doing very well for me.
What business?
I was doing, I was importing vehicles, and also were importing tires, and we were doing a few things, real estate with my husband, and eventually started doing mining. And we still are going on with everything that we started, and farming too. So when I left work, it was about building my family and getting my own family together. So coming into politics, it was purely about having worked with a lot of women groups and helped a lot of people. I'm a leader in church. So from the church, where the violence against women, sexism, having so many women being looked down upon, I felt it is time is right for women leadership to come in and help the women in Kirinyaga County. Yeah.
So this is your first attempt at politics. You're a first-time politician, and looking at Kirinyaga County, you'll be facing three other contenders. There's the incumbent, there's the current county assembly speaker, and I believe a retired speaker who is a well-recognized rice farmer in Mwea. So for you, your chances as a first-timer, where do you think you stand?
I stand a very good chance, because in the nominations, I actually got 127,000 votes, and the second person had about 11,000. So that will tell you how much the people of Kirinyaga believe in me. Considering in normal polls that are done by Ipsos and everybody, they use about 3,000 people to poll, and we're talking about 127,000. That will tell you a lot.
Let's talk about the incumbent, who I know the current governor has criticized as having never said a word in Bunge. I don't know how true that is, but that's prominently out there in the dailies, that she's never spoken a word in the dailies. For you, what issues have you come face to face with having interacted with the women of Kirinyaga County?
There are a lot of things that were not done, especially when she has not spoken in Bunge. That will tell you she never participated in private bills, she never participated in legislation, she never participated in anything to build Kirinyaga, including the oversight role, which is a very easy role for her to have played. She was not in touch with Wanjiku. So probably that is one of the things that really worked against her. And another thing, as you said, the speaker is no longer running because she just got about 7,000, and the other rice farmer got 2,700. So those two are not running. But there's another one that was running for a member of parliament and didn't manage, and well, maybe she thought her luck is on the other end. So we have three now. Now this is between three: the incumbent, me, and the one that was running for the member of parliament for Kirinyaga Central. So well, right now, I don't think I'm really worried about them. I'm actually worried about now starting to put my strategies in place and what I am going to do for the people of Kirinyaga. It's no longer about the competition.
But what issue, when you look, when you're on the ground, have you observed that you think is a priority for you as a possible leader?
Priority is about affirmative action fund was never used exactly to do what it was supposed to do in Kirinyaga County. So one thing is for sure, we have to bring about normal working relation between me and the women first, and bringing to them projects that are sustainable, what they can do even without purity or without me being there, they can still be able to continue. Also the PWDs, I can tell you in Kirinyaga, there's really nothing that was done for them. So I believe that I have to prioritize that too.
People living with disabilities?
Yeah. I have to prioritize that, and the youth actually are really in a mess. Kirinyaga is a place where you find a lot of youth are jobless. There are a lot of things that we can do to help them. It's not about the white-collar job anymore. It's about bringing about cottage industries where they can work, where they can get and do small things that will help them to get something out of it and get a livelihood.
And you know, of the women that have come here to studio on this show, a lot of them, particularly the women reps, the incumbents, have talked about the poor funding and the fact that this has been a constraint for a lot of them in their respective counties, the fact that there's a lot that they would like to do, but the funding limits them.
It's never about funding, Lillian. I'll tell you, even in your own house, you don't have to have all the money that you need so that you can do what you need to do. You just have to work with what you have, so that at least if the government is able to see that what you have, you're working with, and maybe probably now is not enough, that's when you come in now and go into Parliament and bring in this funding and ask for more funding. But without you bringing out that, which was not done by over 50% of them. That is why I think it was not so much looked into. But I believe the crop of the women reps coming in this time, they're no longer flower girls. They're coming in to work, they're coming in to look for more funds. We're coming in to make sure that our counties, that there will be difference in the National Government Affirmative Action Fund.
And let's talk about agriculture in Kirinyaga County, because 70% of the constituents there are farmers, and more so the women. What do you intend to do for the struggling agricultural sector for the women? Because you've touched on the fact that it's not all about white-collar jobs, and indeed the incorporation of the youth as well to this effect.
Yeah, I have brought in, actually I'm doing some pilot projects with some agricultural engineers. We are trying to bring about, because sometimes we lack water and we lack rains. So we can help with soil moisturization. We can help with maybe with pushing for lower prices for the fertilizers. We are also pushing for getting them seed things that can grow fast and be able to sell and on a smaller scale, so that we also get maybe the marketing for them, so that we can help them in smaller scale farming and they can be able to sell and get themselves something out of it. Besides that, I think maybe, okay, what I look at is most of the leadership in Kirinyaga was not able to push forward for the things that Kirinyaga needed most, especially now that we've been having Ziba Dam that was really left out and did not start. Now, those are the things. Actually, the last time when I and Wangui Ngirici and the rest, the nominees of Jubilee, we went to see the Deputy President. That is one of the things that we're pushing for. We really need to push for water in Kirinyaga, because Kirinyaga is one of the very blessed counties. I will tell you, there's no county in this country where you will find we have rice. At the same time, we have coffee, we have tea. At the same time, we have cotton growing, and we also have a lot of farming there. So, and we even have mountains in Kirinyaga County. I think it's one of the very blessed counties. So having that in mind, we put together and push forward towards having a productive Kirinyaga, and what we can be able to bring forth, what we don't have in Kirinyaga. I am sure we should negotiate for it. Then I think Kirinyaga can get some better development and better representation.
Do you think Kirinyaga County is ready for a female governor? And I know this is digressing from you with the women rep aspirations that you have. Is Kirinyaga County ready for a female governor? Of course, the incumbent is a gentleman who will be going at it as an independent, but do you think that the residents of Kirinyaga would be willing to see a female governor and indeed a women rep? Of course, the women rep will be a woman, but for the female governor, do you think that the residents of Kirinyaga will be ready to hand this? We currently don't have any female governor.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I can tell you, Kirinyaga is going to become one of the counties that will show that women can work better, because a woman can be able to hold a lot of pressure, considering what we do from home to work to dealing with the society. I think Kirinyaga is very lucky that we have this, what do you call them? Our women are very strong women, we have the A-class kind of woman. So I believe what we are having is Kirinyaga, whichever woman is going to win this seat, I'm telling you, Kirinyaga is going to make a difference. This country will see.
And, you know, I want to read out some of the comments that are coming in from the viewers, and a lot of them are calling you Wangui. I think that's what they know you as.
Yeah, they do.
Somebody is saying, bravo Wangui for going that far. I'm your supporter. So somebody is saying, hi, I'm happy you've come this far. Somebody here is saying, why are you having bad working relationship with Waigoro? Because it is evident here on the ground that you're supporting Martha Karua behind the scenes. I don't know how true that is. Somebody here is saying that Youth and Women Fund, how will it reach Wanjiko? Somebody here is saying, hey Lillian, tell our women rep to visit Plai Karuangi Road and Murinduka Road, which are impassable during rainy seasons. Can she help to maram them? Our votes are hers. And, you know, maybe two more. Somebody is saying you look sober and focused. This is Tandy in Kahawa West. And maybe one more. Lillian Wango is our leader because she has been there for us even before going for this seat. She's great. We don't regret. This is Faith. So let's begin with this question on how the funds will reach the women and the youth, how these funds, you know, essentially will reach the Wanjiko, because the general consensus is that once politicians clinch these seats, they totally forget about their manifestos and what they promised to deliver.
Okay, there's one thing that's for sure. There are structures in this country, Lillian. It's just that some people completely decide to ignore them. Even the Affirmative Action Fund for Women, that, like I was telling you earlier, it's about the groupings of women. There's so many of them. You can have a database. You can be able to lead them. You don't have to go and give women 100,000 and you have not told them what to do with it. The first thing that one has to do is educate them and make sure that these women, you have given them even ideas of projects that they can do that will be productive after you have given them this money. You give them 100,000, there are 100 women. They'll get each 1,000 shillings and walk home. That's the end. But if you tell them this group is working and you have to do this project, or probably you have a choice of these projects that you can do, this is how you can push them forward. I will help you in these 1, 2, 3 ways. I am sure these women will be able to move forward. Talking about the youth fund, the youth fund has been there in Kenya. A lot of counties have really gained from the youth fund. But look at Kirinyaga County, it has never gotten there, simply because there was no one to push forward and look for ways to fund these youths and get them to apply. Give them ways of probably doing, they can do a project proposal and then they can get the funding. And that way you can help them, even to tell them, this is not your money, you need to pay it back, and this is how you can do it and pay it back. So I think sitting down with the youths, also educating them, giving them, even I usually say that we need even probably short-term vocational centers where we can be having over the holidays, or even some months where we can have short term. Teach them, show them the way, and tell them this is the way you can do it. This is how far you can get. Right. I think that is very easy. But I've been doing that too. Okay,
still on agriculture, another question that's coming in is, ask Wangui what plans she has for rice farmers in Mwea, considering that she needs our votes. This is John Koinange, you're writing to us from Mwea. I think the rice farmers also feel that they're a neglected lot.
I have really worked with them. Right now, even my trucks are doing the desilting of canals right now, because the canals were not taking down the water because they were full of mud and all that. And because the NIB could not be able to do all that in a very short time, they did not have the machinery. I decided, okay, because I do mining, so definitely I have this machinery. And I told them, I'm giving you for free. I will desilt for you the canals so that the water can go down. I know the Mwea people are having a problem with water.
And the red soil.
Yes. And they're having a problem with water. And at the black cotton soil where they grow rice. What I have been doing also, I've also been working together with going to NIB, also negotiating for them.
Because somebody's saying water problem in Mwea, especially red soil. Is the red soil advantageous to the rice? Is it not?
No, red soil I think is an area.
Red soil.
Yeah. It's actually an area very close to where I was born, and that's why I'm saying.
So you know your county well.
Yes, very well. There's a river that runs from the it runs from the mountain and passes through there, but they don't have any water that goes there, because the water has been set from the canals that were made by the colonial government. So I was actually asking that we negotiate for them, that the water that is running from a river that cannot be diverted, that it is diverted for a while until we have the Ziba Dam done. So I think that is the solution that we have right now, and we are trying to talk about it. I talked to the National Irrigation Board, and they said that it is on course. They are talking about it. So I think it is a solution.
Yeah, and the rice farmers are also saying that they don't feel like they're making enough from the proceeds of selling the rice.
No, there was a very serious problem earlier, and the problem was when the water did not come, then rice farmers were not able to harvest enough. Actually, on an acre where they would harvest up to 30 bags, now they got about 7 last year. And I believe now the water has been opened up, and I believe now they are going on with their farming. That's why I was saying I am dealing with people who can help us, to help them have, probably instead of having 3 seasons, they do, 2 seasons, they can do 3 seasons in a year. Over and above that, I know there have been people who have been dealing with Pakistani imported rice, and that rice.
Somebody is actually saying that your brother is one of the biggest importers of, of the Pakistan rice.
Yeah, it's true. And the thing is, everybody in this country, they do things according. Okay, he's a businessman, and the rice, the rules and the regulations about the importation of any rice is done in Parliament, and because in Kenya we only are able to produce 40%, the importers are allowed to import up to 60%, which is not even checked. So actually they should blame maybe KRA, because when they bring in and it is over what was supposed to be imported, it's not about a personality, it's about the institutions that have been set up so that they can take care of that. But actually, as that person is saying, my brother has stopped actually selling rice since some time ago, and whoever does that, they say that because probably they think they would fight me politically about it. But the fact is, the people in Parliament are the people that should follow up on the regulations that rice should be brought in after a certain period of time. And I have been telling them, I sit in that Parliament, I am going to be one of the people that is going to push for a bill to come in where we are going only to allow rice to come in after our people are able to sell their own. So definitely I know I will deal with that, because right now I'm not in a position to do it, but the only people who would have done it are the people who've been in Parliament. So too bad.
So as we're closing, you know, I think a bulk of the messages here are asking you to do things that are way over your mandate as the women's rep. They're talking about tarmacking of roads, and I think that is, of course, a challenge to you. Is this just a beginning for you? Do you intend to go for bigger positions, you know, should you be elected come August?
Definitely, I have a big vision for Kirinyaga. I believe that in 5 years, I will have proved to the people of Kirinyaga that I am worth maybe a better position, a bigger position from there. But right now, what I'm focusing really on, I know people are talking about tarmacking of roads and all that. Being in Parliament, I'm sure I will be able to negotiate for them. I will be able to push forward, because right now I've just been doing the feeder roads for them, and I would want them to be able to get their produce into the market. I would want the people of Kirinyaga to just live rich as their county is rich. So definitely I will really work towards that.
And we thank you for your time this evening. She's Purity Wangui Ngirici, popularly known as Wangui, and that's what a lot of you are calling her. You're calling her the Honorable Wangui. So clearly a very well-known aspirant there in Kirinyaga County. She's going for the women's rep position, and we will be waiting to see whether she will indeed clinch the seat come the August polls. Thank you very much for your messages. We'll continue to sample them as the bulletin proceeds. Up next is Bernard Ndong with all the day's sports.